So early on in this one, I shoved Jack 10 offsuit and basically closed my eyes, hoping the bluff would get through. But we got a good one to go over here, guys. What I want you to do is grab a bottle of water, some coffee, maybe some Gatorade, sit back, and I'll tell you what, man, we got some interesting spots to go over. And I will say this, man. The way I approach playing this game is not a GTO style. It's not an ABC style. It's really just about exploiting opponents at the table, just using those type of strategies and kind of using it against them. You know, I've been playing now for basically 2 decades. I play multiple times a week, and I just kind of do my thing here and I just share it with you guys. Also, if you're not in our community yet, you know, I don't know why you're not in there, man. That's going to be in the pinned comment. You could talk with me, other high level members. If you're trying to take the game a little bit more seriously, then I would definitely recommend getting in it. You know, also if you could tap the like, and let's just make our way in this. Also, if you want to comment, feel free to do that. I'll get back to you. It might take me a little bit of time, but I will. And yeah, man, we're gonna do our thing in this one for sure. I will say this though, I was super bluffy in this. Okay, super bluffy. Okay, that's gonna be the word of the day. And this one's gonna run for about 15 to 20 minutes. Kind of getting into some of the meat and potatoes of this because yeah, I just kind of condensed it down. But here we go with pocket fives. You know, I'm just gonna call the open razor player 5 here and. Yeah, we're going to see a flop here and, you know, hopefully peel off a 5, right? That's what we're looking for. And that is not what you want to see with pocket fives, okay? Kind of a check fold spot here. I'm not going to do a whole lot. If we take a look at the players at the table, you know, it's kind of a new table star. Everyone's kind of, you know, even at this point, so we don't really know who might be a little bit better or worse. But yeah, the thing is, like, as you start to move up and play, like, the mid stakes, you have to kind of open your game up a little bit more, and you really have to just get away from one approach of playing. I mean, it's just the reality of it, okay? And yeah, here's our Jack 10 offsuit situation pretty early. I just thought it was, I mean, I was not sure if this was going to work or not, but I kind of just went for it. Now I'm going to open here to the 1250 piece with this Jack 10 off. And I was opening up quite a bit in this one, right? I would say I was probably playing more hands than I normally would, but just kind of how I was feeling. Plus, everyone at the table was playing pretty tight for the most part too, and I picked up on that kind of early. But yeah, player 5 is going to, maybe he's going to re-raise, maybe he just called here, I'm not sure. Can't remember if it was a re-raise or not. Just played this one. Sometimes, you know, you forget some of the minor details, but let's see if he raised or just called here. Now, I definitely prefer my Jack 10 to be suited here, but yeah, he just called. Okay, and okay, here's the deal, right? We need a queen. We are blocking the spades because we have the 10 of spades, so it's going to be less likely player 5 is on a flush draw. I'm just going to continue here, you know, hoping to just take it down, but I would definitely take a queen on the turn. You know, if you want to throw a queen of hearts on the turn, that would be a very good card, okay? Now, he raised us, which I thought was a little strange. What could he be raising us with? I have no idea, but I wasn't buying it at all. So I made the call. Turn card was a spade. We are blocking spades. It is possible, it's possible, guys, that, you know, he could have a couple spade in his hands, but I have to be thinking no. So I actually continued here. River card did not pair the board. It was a 3. And here's the deal. Like, we have nothing. The way he played this hand didn't make a lot of sense to me, which is kind of what led me to making this play right here. I'm going to let the clock run a little bit, but, you know, went for it right here. I truly believe that he didn't have what he was saying. That's the reason I made this play, but I was 50-50 on it. Sometimes you get into these spots, too, where you're just not going to be sure. But I went for it, and we took it down. One of the reasons I made that play, though, was because we were blocking the spade. If I didn't have a spade in my hand right there, I'm probably never making that play. But I did, so kind of led me to think that if I went for it there and barreled, you know, it would work out. And fortunately, it did, guys, because like I said, I was 50-50 on it, but, you know, I went with the play right there. And you know what? Tap that like if you like that right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm just, you know, keeping it 100 with you guys. Like, you're just never going to know for sure. You have to just, you know, if you're going to make a play, stick with it, you know. And I didn't raise the white flag there. I kind of just stuck with it, you know. But continue sticking around because we are still just getting into this, and it was just really, you know, how we started things off with a pretty big BLUFF, okay? Pretty big BLUFF right there. Anyways. All right, we got player 4 and player 6 going at it here. Pot is building. Player 4 is still going for it here. You got 2 flush draws out there. Jack 10 just got there. Let's see if player 4 makes this this call. I mean, I think he's going to let it go. Looks pretty strong from player 6, you know. I don't know. That was a tough one. 9 on the river. If you got like ace king or ace queen there, I don't know, man. That's a tough one for sure. Player 4 let it go, though. No idea. All right, 10-3. We don't even have the Doyle Brunson here, so you know what? We got to let this one go. If we had the Doyle, sure. I'll play the 10 deuce, but the 10-3? Can't do it, man. Just got to let it go. All right, King Jack offsuit. Don't ask me why. I just had like a bad feeling about this. I think I actually ended up folding this pre. Normally wouldn't do that, but you know, I don't know. I think player 6 might have raised it here. That's probably why I did. Player 6, what you gonna do, man? Yeah, he did like a little like min raise here, and I was like, ugh, you know, King Jack offsuit. It's just, it's offsuit. If it was suited, yeah, for sure I'm making a call, but whatever. These guys are going check to the river. I think yeah, player 5 went for it, and we would have got there on the river with the king. I have no idea if it would have been good, you know, but whatever, you know, I let it go. I don't like calling, you know, re-raises with King Jack off. Jack 10 off I will, because it's like connected. King Jack isn't. Same Queen Jack I'll also call, you know, re-raises with, but, you know, King Jack off, you know, it's just not, it just seems not to flop too well sometimes, you know. All right, so here we go with Jack 7 suited. You guys are going to like this one right here, man. Now, I don't know. I think player 6 here might do another re-raise, but I wasn't getting away from this one. So he did it again. So I am going to keep this guy honest. He could also just be doing this with a couple overs like ace king, ace queen, you know. So Jack 7 suited, I like it. We're gonna make a call here. See if we can get something going. See if we can start cooking a little bit here. Not a bad flop. I mean, it's not like gonna be really good for us if he's got like an overpair, but we have a lot of ways we can still get there, you know. We could hit runner spades. We got the 6 to the straight. We have a jack. If a jack hits, it could be good. Hard to know. And they gave us the jack, which is going to make it really hard for us to get away at this point, right? We are still ahead of some hands, like once again ace king, ace queen, but if we're dealing with like an overpair here, we're going to be in a tough spot. He's continuing here, which really like this is really tricky if you're in my spot, you know. You've already put a little bit in there. I just made the call here. River card was a diamond, and I don't know. I think a part of me wasn't really worried about a diamond draw for this guy. You know, that's not what I was thinking. I was actually thinking he was just trying to bully us here and get us to fold this. That's kind of what it felt like. He checked it, and once again, you know, this is another spot similar to the Jack 10 where I have to make a decision, and this is the decision I went with. I mean, there was a good amount in the pot here, and you know, if he does have an overpair, this could also be a hard spot for him to make a call. But he folded it right away, so I didn't want to check it back. You know, that was me right there. It might have looked kind of risky, but I just did not want to check it back, which is why I made the play I did. And fortunately for us guys, we kind of continued the madness continues here. And I really hope you're enjoying some of these plays because, like I said, really thrown in kind of the bluffs and some semi-bluffs, which is, working out for us. Here we have a Jack 3 suited in the small. I'm always going to raise this up. He called. We paired the Jack, Queen out there, couple clubs, no idea. Didn't like seeing that ace on the turn, though. River card, just not sure. And, yeah, he hit the ace. But he made it so small that I, had to make that call, It's kind of funny, but whatever. 6-3 suited, shouldn't be playing these hands, especially from early position raisers, so I'm just going to let this go. And it is what it is. But we still got a few more hands here. Hope you guys are enjoying some of this. And like I said, man, if you are really just thinking about taking things a little bit more seriously, man, get in the pin, check out the pin comment, get in the community. It's growing. And I'll tell you what, man, give you guys some insight. I've been doing this for a while. And I will continue doing it. I don't think I'll ever stop playing, honestly. Till my last breath, okay? Till my last breath. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we had an ace jack off, and it's so funny because I say this all the time. Whenever you have ace 10 off or ace jack off, those are the hands that get you in trouble, okay? They really are. And they can be really hard to play to re-raises multi-way. It can be hard, and sometimes I just recommend folding. But here I am not going to do that. I am going to make a call here. Player 3 was playing pretty snug, so I did have that. And, I was keeping that in mind making this call. Definitely going to be going defensive, okay? I'm not going to be doing anything here except just making a call and pretty much going defensive and hoping for the best, because, like I said, ace-jack off, ace-10 off have always just been a couple hands where I just get destroyed. And I do play them cautiously. And here we go. We could also be dealing with some of the obvious stuff, over pairs, ace, king, ace, queen. But we paired the ace, of course, 2 kings out there. I mean, pretty funny, huh? Still going to be on the defensive side here. If you re-raise this with maybe king, queen suited. If you got ace, king, I mean, yeah, we're in trouble. But just going to stick to the defensive side of things here. I'm expecting me to continue anyways. No reason to raise. It's just to continue, and hopefully maybe we get another ace, which we didn't. Diamonds got there. We don't have a diamond, but I'm not really thinking that anyways. Do we keep this guy honest if he barrels again? That's kind of the question. He checked it, and then we got the ace on the river, which was really good. So here's the thing. I think if he had the king, he was going to continue there. I don't know if he has an ace. Maybe he does. It's going to end up being a split pot anyways. Or, I went really thin here. I just wanted him to call. But I don't know what he'd be calling with anyways. If he doesn't, I don't think he has a king because he checked it on the turn. I don't know if he has an ace. If he has an ace, I felt like it was just going to be a split pot, but it wasn't. And whatever, we still ended up taking it down, so I'm not going to, get too much into that. But, pretty good one here. I thought we, like I said, kept it pretty snug. Didn't play too long, and we did our thing here. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed another update. Some of the hands here. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't. Get in the community, pin comment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.